Any rational soul alive today can realize our world has fallen into ruin. How have we become so feeble as to let this happen? In what ways can we bring new life from the ashes of old ways? Initially, when we are brought into communion with the objective world, there is no mainstream system in place to build up strengthened autonomous individuals. In lieu of sound education, we are subjected to the current crippled infrastructure, meant to churn out the most efficient drones for the endless menial jobs awaiting them in the so-called adult community. One of the most detrimental problems facing us as a species is poor education on a mass scale. Proper reflection on this pivotal issue reveals how so many individuals dwell in the basest of thought simulations and emotional chaos. An individual with even half a brain knows not to go kicking old ladies in the street or become infuriated when things don't go as planned. These are just minimal examples of how not to be a well-adjusted citizen, of course. However, they do lead us deeper into the heart of the matter at hand. The average human being born into an everyday family, especially this day and age, has little hope to accomplish much in life. How many of us were ever told from childhood on that we would attain to anything more than going to school, working until retirement, only to die feeble and incomplete? If any of us were told directly these facts by our benefactors from a young age, would we not say fuck it all and at very least aim for a different way of life? The problem with modern society, we have become too comfortable with this failed path. Following this well-known comfortability, i.e. laziness, let us imagine an individual has decided to rise beyond their station of banality to greater heights. Those who have traversed this path know well the travails awaiting them at every turn. Though, for the sake of the beginner, we shall observe specific guideposts on the road to personal freedom. When one has started on the path of freedom, illusory perceptions concerning hard work and dedication, as well bringing inner imaginings to fruition in the objective world, are cast aside. Becoming a strengthened individual involves honesty with oneself, coupled with rational reflection and integration of objective events. Such tasks become problematic because the instant, the very moment, one steps against the wake of the mainstream, they are pushed back, or, more appropriately, held back to remind them of their status in this world. Anyone who maneuvers against the grain of the modern paradigm will be thrown back hard. Antagonistic forces swell intentionally against the individual to keep them in line. This pattern is only beneficial because it removes those who refuse to grow a backbone in light of adversity. Remember, the comfortable route is the easiest. That's why the jelly-spined humans choose returning to their place in line, where the safety of the herd will protect them from danger. Despite this, those who remain steadfast against adversity begin to realize something more awaits behind the forces of antagonism, if only they have the courage to forge ahead. So on the one side, we have the basic, everyday humatons. On the other, the negative, multifarious events born to entrap the individual. When the strengthened individual continues beyond these early fear campaigns, their view is directed back to those weak souls, beckoning them to rejoin their incapable fold. The rationalist comprehends deeply that moving forward through any obstacle is the only real option. As we proceed, greater and more dangerous events intercept our every intention. Adapting to preceding events has given us a bold new outlook. I've come this far. I've survived far worse than this. I must carry on in the name of those who could not. At this nexus, as though summoned from a great abyss, the dragon of self-doubt rears around from behind to catch us unaware. Those not properly prepared to face this beast succumb instantaneously. They are the ones who, having crossed the first threshold, grow cynical and weak due such attainment. They choose not to keep growing, not to keep becoming something more than what someone else imagined them to be. This is the path without end. These who fall prey to the snake refuse to dig deep, to cling to the core of self built up from true experience, so they fall away. Those who do not return to the herd usually live an obscure existence outside the norm, but too detached from other individuals to belong to anything, or at very least anything worthwhile. We continue onward. Our numbers are fewer now. We are individuals, yet remain united in order to encourage each other, to challenge each other to be better, to listen when no one else will. The time now has come where we fall into a great darkness. No light outside ourselves to show the way. Confronting this, we remember all that has brought us to this point plants the seed of light within. The more humble we become, the more focus we maintain, the brighter the light to carve out the path ahead. We meet the shadows with utmost sobriety. In doing so, the womb of a better future is fertilized and given a chance to grow in the proper fashion. True power is power over oneself. This world is built to shatter souls. Rest assured, there are groups and individuals and family ready to make our lives hell. Recognition of this fact is a step in the right direction of acquiring true experience. There are endless sources to help the individual build up necessary degrees of self-esteem and strengthen confidence. These are important in helping the forgotten rise time and time again, no matter how far they get left behind, no matter how hard they get knocked down. We must continually strive to find methods to build ourselves and our lives up in a way that can be a meritocratic example to others lost in the chaos of everyday life. Do not let yourself be pushed into a corner. If you find yourself lost, alone, and surrounded by ineptitude and apathy, seek out your inner confidence, no matter how minuscule, and let it reinforce your every action. Find the courage to survive.